Do I have to say got it? All right, there we go. We're live.
We are alive. Well, welcome everybody to our second episode.
Yeah.
And
Hi, everybody.
this is my girlfriend, Deborah Madrid, and I'm Joan Roulac. And I think we think what we may be calling ourselves is two girlfriends talk.
And boy, do we ever talk.
And yes, we do. And we have notes. I mean, it should be like bullet point, etc. But let's just say I just put fiber in and now my printer doesn't work. And so I don't print anything out. So things are a little bit more.
It's going to be a little loose today.
It's a little
loose. We're going to flow. We're just going to go with it. So
okay, this is perfect.
Come with us as we go along on this little journey today.
Yeah, this is going to be good. So in honor of last Monday's full moon, got to bring the moon in and play with her energy a little bit.
Yep.
Embrace the flow of life. And that's really what we're up to doing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the notes that I had written down was, we talk about anything relating to energy and organizing that can help you realize XYZ. Because when we started this, my specialty is in all things sort of energy related, fascinates me. And Deb is a professional organizer. And we met a zillion years ago when we worked together. And we still love playing off each other 40 some years later.
Yes.
And so it's like energizing and organizing. We thought we were so clever. So that's like the first episode. It was like, oh, energize and organize. And then Deb, who's very good at researching these things, she goes, oh gosh, there's all kinds of energize and organize. I'm like, oh. So I was talking to my brother and he said, Joan, would you like a pointer? Yes. And he goes, realize, energize, organize, and realize. So really that's what this channel is all about, is different ways to play with energy and organize your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, your belongings, your schedule, whatever all that is, bring it all together so you can realize X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And then when Deb and I were talking, see if, you know, Deb, correct me as I go, because I sometimes, you know, might be making things up, but
not you.
It's one of those things, selective memory. What can I tell you? But we were talking and I thought, you know, what is it you really, what do clients come to a professional organizer for?
They come to us because they can't find something. So the baseline question for all of us is usually, how can I find fill in the blank? How can I find my shoes? How can I find one of the 5 t-shirts that I bought? How can I find the wrapping paper for Christmas? And so organizers are called in to help streamline people's homes, organize them so that they can realize whatever it is that they're looking for. Just makes their lives easier. We put systems in place so that your physical home has a certain level of balance to it. So that's basically the bottom line. How do I find fill in the blank?
And you know, and what I love about that is what they come to me for is, how do I organize my internal mind, heart, body? Mm-hmm. How do I find more balance? How do I sleep better? Mm-hmm. How do I meditate? How do I get rid of this lung issue? How do I find a way to be more peaceful? Mm-hmm. Especially at this time of year. So when I thought, oh, isn't it interesting? So the question for organizing is, how can I find? And I went, isn't it the same with energy work or life coaching, whatever it is I'm doing? Is, Joan, it's like, how can I experience more ease? How can I have less stress in my life?
Exactly.
How can I have more of what I want sooner? How
Yes.
can I connect and feel more present?
Yeah.
How do you luxuriate longer? Questions like that. And I think what's so cool, Deb, and if we didn't know each other the way we do and have the chance for this kind of conversation, I wouldn't have seen the connection necessarily, the crossovers.
Right. Right. Because your clients are looking for something that's a little bit more emotional, although it may also be very practical.
Mhm.
And the practical side of what I do can become extremely emotional for someone who is not organized or is trying to be organized but can't quite get to that space that they want to be in. So yeah, there's a lot of crossover in terms of how do I find the right energy to get to here, and then if I get here, then I get that peace in my life that I'm looking for, because I don't have to scrounge for the box of cereal for the kids, or I don't have to get into the laundry to get that white shirt that I'm looking for.
Well, yeah, and then I was thinking about it, and I said both of our practices and our work is all about people feeling happier and healthier.
Exactly. Yes.
But everything has a place and an energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when things are in the right place, we're happier and healthier.
It is true.
That brings us, more peace. So
Definitely.
I thought, I was thinking back to our card from last time was trust in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It was trust in the universe. And then what the moon was this last Monday, embrace the flow of life. So I thought, we're kind of cueing off that as how with the holiday season, we can think about energy and organizing. How might they marry or partner? So we have that nice, easy, peaceful feeling that we can bring to the holidays, because peace is an inside job. And yes. So I thought the way that would be fun to do it is to kind of start the tradition with these episodes of doing a card reading from my deck. And
I've got mine here, right here.
This is so cool. And for people who aren't familiar with my little island cards, it's 45 cards in this. They're all the size of a business card. Well, years ago, they used to have something called a business card. And this was the size of what was used to be called a business card.
Right.
And I created these for my Tai Chi students because, people come running into class, let's hurry up and meditate. And it's like, okay, we got 1 hour. And it'd take them a little while to sink into that sense of, right. And my thought is, let's start off that way. So I would use these cards as a point of reference. So I would walk around back when I would teach in in-person classes and bow with the cards out in front, and each person would pick a card. We'd go around the room and say them. And that was a way of like connecting, and we could find out what's the energy in the room today. What are the gifts instead of something that we're to do? What are these 45 gifts? Every day, you never know which one's going to be pulled. So I keep this deck on the altar, and what ends up happening, I think I probably should share this. This is when I was creating this deck, I didn't create this card deck. This deck came through me. So I decided I wanted to do a deck. So I got these blank business cards, and I sat down with a cup of coffee one morning, and I just wrote out 1, 2, or 3 words on a bunch of cards, 50 cards or whatever. And I was teaching 7 classes a week. So I'd go into class on Monday to Friday, teach everything. And then anytime someone didn't like a card, I said, just rip it up, pull another one. Do you like that one? Okay, it'll stay in. Okay, go around. So I did this for 1 year. And so this final deck of 45 cards has had a year of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people pulling them and using them. So that's how they came to be in the number that they're in. And then I got this download that was really challenging for me because I didn't know how to do it. But it was like, okay, you need to say prayers and blessings on this deck every day. So I have a kind of a Buddha altar, and I light a candle and I shuffle the cards and I say, you know, whatever the card is that I pull. First, it honors me because I call my main deck where I have my candle burning at each morning at dawn when I start this. That first it fills up me and all the deck at my house. Then it goes out around the world to everyone who happens to have one of these little island card decks and blesses you. And then boomerangs back to the mother deck. But then it got even funnier. And I had spirits giving me these ideas. I'm like, wow, I don't know how to do this. This is way beyond me. Then it said, like, Deb's going to pull a card.
Mm-hmm.
First, she's blessed because it's all about you, always you first. Then that particular card goes to the mother deck and boosts the mother deck, which boosts me. And since it works that way, then that goes out to everyone in the world that owns the card deck. So what I liked about this is all day long, without people even realizing it, anytime you pull a card, first you're blessed and honored.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to the mother deck and juices up the mother deck, who sends it out to everyone in the world.
Right.
And that happens with every person who pulls a card. And I think, wow, I could never think this up, trust me. So this was just like, okay. And it's, I don't know, almost 10 years with this deck, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been quite a while. So, and we've been doing this, and I just like the idea that you're kind of getting a surprise blessing and hug throughout your day anytime a card's pulled.
Yeah. I
So,
like how it's coming from Joan.
and good vibes, that's
Good vibes, exactly.
I have it be full of good vibes.
All right.
So why don't we try this, Deb? Let's go for, since we're thinking about the holidays, and how can I find something? Why don't you shuffle and pull a card and see what do you think might be helpful to support what you're going to share today?
All right, let's see where we're going with this. Let me just give it a quick. I've been kind of shuffling already, so
oh
yeah, they're ready to go. But all right, so I'm going to just go ahead and pull one right now. All right, I had to look at it. I don't have my glasses on, so I had to look at this a little bit. Celebrate
Oh.
I love serendipity. I love when that happens. I love when things come together so seamlessly, so effortlessly, and so completely. That is, they're so rare in some ways. It's like little pops of happiness. Anyway, it's a great card.
Well, and to me, where I'm just laughing, this is a cheeky deck, guys.
Did you just pull the same one?
No, well, I'm going to go right off yours for starters, because what's better when you're talking about simple things and simple ways to Oh, I'm jumping ahead because I know a little bit about what you're talking about. I'll wait and save that. I don't want to. I'll save the comment. So let me pick something.
Okay. Go ahead, pull it.
So the gift that you're bringing to the party is celebrate serendipity. And let's see who wants to play.
Welcome silence. Wow.
Okay, look at the yin yang. Welcome silence. Celebrate serendipity. So this is just how I would play with these. Being an energizer and someone who often it's like kind of go, 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 which is really easy to burn out.
Yeah.
Or to overdo. But if you welcome silence, to me, that allows me to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me the gift that people admire about me is my ability to welcome silence. That's the gift I am sharing. That's not for anyone else to be responsible for. That's mine. It's my gift that I'm being reminded of the way I welcome silence. This is not telling me to do anything.
Right.
It's about honoring a gift.
Right.
And so for you, with your organizing and the tips that you're going to share today, that celebrating serendipity, what a playful way to be organizing and decluttering for the holidays. It's
Yes.
like, who knew that the lost sock was in with the toothpaste? I mean, great serendipity. I found the sock.
Exactly.
Wasn't looking for that sock, but
exactly.
So I think it's kind of fun. Welcome silence and celebrate serendipity. So the last thing that do you have anything else to share on that, Deb?
No, not yet.
Okay, and the last
things are still gelling, so we'll just keep going.
Yeah, perfect. Well, last time we also, when I ended, I said, let's talk about pain relief, because I just finished teaching a workshop on pain relief for the feet and how doing these particular foot exercises work the toes, the balls of the feet, the heels, the ankles, the knees, the hips, and the spine. And who knew that when you're working on your toes, you're increasing the ability of the nerves to function in your spine. And when I started to do some of them, like initially I would get like cramps in my toes or whatever. People had bunions and, just different foot issues. And I'm like, okay, so I shared several products for foot, for pain relief for feet. Mm-hmm. And I thought what I'd do is bring that in, and I've got a few more, and I will have it listed down below, the resources, because it's one of the commitments that Deb and I have is when we share something that we find helpful and useful, we're going to put the name of it below always when we share content. So in case that's something you might want to check out, you have that chance to do it. Right. So I want you to think of it. It's why you have girlfriends. They're resources.
They're resources, exactly. And we share everything.
Exactly. And so I just think that's something that we are both committed to doing.
Right.
So I want to share one, and this one is a product called CryoDerm. It's a pain relieving cold therapy roll-on. It has MSM, arnica, boswellia, and its active ingredient is menthol. So I've worked for several chiropractors, and I go to a chiropractor. And I just got to say that some mornings I wake up. I mean, I should have done this today. I didn't think of it. Some mornings I just wake up and there's no explanation for it other than I feel stiff.
Yeah.
And it'll start like in my back, will feel stiff. Maybe it's a knee, ankle. I happen to love roll-ons. This is a roll-on. And you can just see, nice and wide. Mm-hmm. And I think it smells good, but especially if today I've got to teach Tai Chi or Qigong and I'm just wanting to go, when your body is your tool, I have to embody and do everything I'm sharing. So
Right.
I will just take this after I put on my body lotion after the shower, and I'll just turn this like this. I'll do my whole lower back, hips as far up as I can reach. Then if you ever have shoulder pain, I've tried a lot of things. I got rid of everything. This is the only thing I use for like a muscle tension. I'll go like this, make sure I had this on, go like this on the back, anywhere I can reach. But the real great one is going up to the hairline. I will do from the side of my neck all the way up and down my entire neck, shoulders. Within a minute and a half. And the smell, it's not a strong smell, even though it has menthol. It evaporates really quickly. It doesn't have any problem when I put fragrance on after. There's no conflict, etc.
Nice.
And I would say within a minute, 2 minutes or less, I'm feeling the effect and I'm like, all right, let's go.
So Joan's feeling good and she doesn't smell like a doctor's office.
Yeah. And this is one of the first things that I make sure I have a full roll-on in my travel kit. Because I have hated it when you're sleeping somewhere and the bed's not good and you wake up. Well, for me, my lower back is kind of like the one.
Yeah.
But now when I have this, it doesn't matter. I can, whatever it is, I can put this on and give me a few minutes and we'll get the body will get going. So that's one that I use for like shoulder and back pain relief. I happen to really love lavender, and there's all different types of lavender, and different essential oils do different things and affect you. When I think of lavender, I think of relaxation.
Yes.
And when I was blessed to be able to go to Provence with my mom on a trip years ago. And there's just a certain lavender from the south of France.
Yes.
That sends me. And this is a company called Revive, and it can be whatever you like. This one's not an organic one. Again, it's a roll-on. And so many people have trouble sleeping. And an easy thing that you can do is just take this roll-on and go right here on your wrists. And if you happen to be a side sleeper, when you're like this, you're just inhaling that lavender essential oil, and that can be something really soothing.
Let me add something to that because I love French lavender also. And I've made lavender sachets for myself, which I absolutely adore. And I keep one under my pillow or between the pillows. And so when I'm having a little hard time sleeping, I just kind of pull that sachet out and I just kind of give it a good sniff. So instead of sniffing glue, I'm sniffing lavender sachet. The lavender sachet, particularly the lavender from France, is the best lavender. There's something about that compared to other lavenders. It is by far the best. And it does actually really help me fall asleep. Just a little quick.
I love it.
Lavender, yeah. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Well, and here's a story. Way back in the day when I worked for Nordstrom, I worked as I wasn't the counter manager at this company. I worked for Origins, and they had I think the product was called Rescue Me. And it was a peppermint blend. And I'd have people lined up in the aisles, and it was in a small bottle, and I would put this out and I would massage it and go. People had headaches. I had no idea. I don't get headaches, but people get severe headaches.
Yeah.
And you could just massage this and the tension would leave.
Yeah.
So when my little brother started Botanicals, he goes, I said, okay, John, you've got to do, please do a roller ball of lavender.
Yeah.
And, because I didn't want peppermint. Well, he made peppermint because most people really, really like peppermint, but he has peppermint and lavender. And then there's also a turmeric ginger. But this particular one, and I'll link the information from Botanicals below, but this one's a hemp CBD relief body oil.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Relax. And they have this one in the extra strength. This is the mild one. And if I find I'm feeling anxious and I really want to feel soothed, this is one that is, again, French lavender. And the wonderful woman who created this formula for him is just great. And so here's what I do. I go like this. And what's nice about it, let's see if you can see. You can just see there's a little bit of wetness. It doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But what I love about this essential oil is how it goes in and I start benefiting. Well, I love working with the vagus nerve. And if you take that little notch, take your middle finger and put it in that little notch behind your ears.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find that. Find yours, Deb.
Okay. Have to push earrings beside. Okay.
Just gentle, gentle, gentle. So this is one of the main access points from how your brain and your gut communicate.
Oh. Okay.
So the vagus nerve, believe it or not, is created at 6 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. So you have this, it has the ability to stress, relaxed, stressed. So it goes from the brain, front of the brain, to the side of the eye, to this part of the ear, over, right down here, both sides down, goes right here into your lungs, your heart, and then all the way down to the bottom of your digestive system, all the way back up. So what I do is I just take this without earrings on, and I just put it right in that area. That alone is soothing and connecting my digestion and my thinking. So they're in a harmonious state of ease. And I can put this all up and down my neck too. But honestly, I am so chill right now. I happen to like that. So there are all different qualities of CBD. And I'm just a fan of organic CBD, and it's my brother's company. So it's one that I use. And in case that's of something of interest, it's a company for you to explore. And I did experience something really interesting. He also has a tincture, and it comes in 3 different levels of strength. And it's just like this. What I noticed is that, and I had never thought of this before, I've just heard about, taking it internally for the amount of health benefits it has. But a friend of his called, and he had been dumping the trash, but he was moving one of those like trash bins. He totally tweaked his back. And John said, well, come over. So he walks in, and instead of being upright, he was like kind of leaning Tower of Pisa, which I know when I've tweaked my back.
Yeah.
John had him go into the bedroom, lie down, and he grabbed hemp CBD tincture and had him pull down a little part of his shirt and pants. And he just took a little bit and just massaged it directly, because this oil, this tincture, it's like I had never even thought of it. But so you see what it's like, it's an oil. Just I'll have happy hands. Well, what I didn't know is he just took this and he just massaged just like this. I'm going to do both hands because why not? I have extra. Who knew I was putting this on my hands today? But that's just how it happened. And within a few minutes, the guy came out and we're chatting. I didn't know him. But I went, well, wait a second. This guy is standing vertical. He's no longer a leaning tower of Pisa. And I said, well, how are you feeling? He goes, well, my wife isn't home. Otherwise, and his wife's a healer. And he goes, my wife isn't home. Otherwise, I would have gone to her and she would have just solved this. He goes, but she's not coming home. And so I really needed some help. She's traveling. And I loved the fact I had no idea that you could take something like that topically and then it would go in for pain relief. Yeah. And that to me, so I'm glad I have this now, because every once in a while you get some, I'm not talking about being, if I have something that feels stiff, I'm just going to use the CryoDerm. But if I did something where I had a bruise or I had really hurt myself and I wanted that pain relief to get the circulation and the energy flowing, that was a miracle. I just had no idea that you could do that. So sometimes I think when we think about energy and organizing, it's using what we already have in different ways.
Exactly.
Instead of getting something new, let's, repurpose it.
Exactly.
And so now you need fewer items because the items you have can do more things. So
true.
Why don't you talk to us, Deb, about whatever you were thinking of for the organizing for the holidays, where you think might be some helpful tips or pain. And whatever you come up, if you think of sort of like organizing and pain relief, please.
Pain relief, exactly. Well, we all know I'm going to do this now because she's here. Phoebe says hello.
Hi, Phoebe.
She's the organizing cat. And here's what it means to be disorganized in my home. I had a sweater out, good cashmere sweater. She found it. It was ready to go to the dry cleaner. It wasn't in a bag, and I caught her sleeping on it. So she has very good taste when it comes to sleeping on things. But that's not really a pain point for me. Not really. But a lot of our clients have pain points at this time of the year because they're working, they've got kids, they're celebrating the holidays, which means they're cooking, they're shopping, they're wrapping. There's more stuff in the house than there normally is. So there's more groceries, there's more packages, there's more packaging, and we have lots and lots of that to cope with. So my favorite tip is the 5-minute tidy up. And what that means is you just take one room maybe, or one area of a room that is really causing you pain. So it could be the dishes in the sink. Just get them into the dishwasher. You don't even have to wash them. Just get them into the dishwasher so that the area looks a little neater. Or maybe that 5-minute tidy up means taking a basket. I use a laundry basket, and I go around to each room in the house and I pick up anything that doesn't belong in that room, and it goes in the basket. And as I go into the next room, if I have things in the basket that belong in there, it goes in at least the right room. It doesn't have to go in the right place, but as long as it's in the right room, then the next time that you have 5 minutes out of your day to tidy up, you can put those things away. So laundry basket, regular basket, anything that you can carry stuff around in the house, pick up the things that don't belong in that room and get them to the room that it does belong in. So at least you've got certain surfaces cleaned up. Another great 5-minute tip is to just, again, just concentrate on one area. It could be, maybe it's your office. Maybe your files are out. Maybe the bills need to get paid. So maybe just stack things in a ABC sort of pile. So A would be the bills that need to get addressed. B would be the items that need to get filed. Maybe you don't have time to file it right now, but if it's in a file pile, then that's okay. And then the last pile is really the round file, because that's the junk. Just get rid of it. Easy peasy, 5 minutes, doesn't take very long. And you might find that after you do the first 5 minutes, you've got another 5 minutes, and then you can think of another thing. But those are a couple of really easy tips and tricks to getting your life a little less disorganized during the holidays. The other thing that you can do, and this might be too late in the season already, but usually what I try to do ahead of the holidays is figure out what I'm going to be baking for that year. And I usually always do a fruit cake. So that means I need to or check for dried fruits, the proper spices to make sure I've got the flowers and things. So getting a list ready of all the things that you're going to need to bake. So butter, for me, it's also apple cider, sugar, making sure that all those things are ready to go so that when it's time to bake that stuff, whatever it is that you're baking, it's ready to go. Make sure that your pans are in good shape. Make sure you've got your parchment paper. So lists are key in my world. So I think those are pretty good tips for trying to get a little bit of peace in one's life, for the holidays. A little pain relief there, I'm hoping. Anything that you can think of that I just mentioned that might sound a bell for you?
Well, I was just thinking about, I think having the right attitude while you're doing those things
Yeah.
makes a difference. So I'm looking at celebrating serendipity.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe while you're doing those 5-minute tasks, like you've got the basket and you're gathering things from room to room, maybe say you like holiday music, or you're a country Western fan, or you like the Messiah. I mean, whatever you happen to, Hallelujah chorus, whatever you happen to like,
Exactly.
put your earbuds in,
Right.
headphones on, crank up the tunes.
Yep.
And while that song plays, you will have that laundry basket filled with from room to room to room.
Yeah.
So you're doing something, and then you're going to just feel.
Exactly. It'll make you feel better. Yeah.
Because I used to have this attitude. Fortunately, I don't have it anymore. I used to think that taxes had an attitude. Taxes don't. Taxes are taxes. I bring the attitude. So I had it negative.
Yeah.
And then I went, oh, wait a minute. The only way to do taxes is, buy fresh flowers, celebrate, dress up instead of being in my sweats, dress up, have it be a great day, make fabulous food, and have it be a celebration. Because the reality is, you should be so grateful that you're getting to do taxes, because it's a result of the magic you've created for the year.
That's a good way of looking at it.
I
That's
mean,
a really good way of looking
we're going to
at
have
it.
to pay, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our very best to have some people do their own taxes, and they do that very well.
Yeah.
I am not one of those. So it's negotiating with my tax person, or however we do it, to make, looking at our write-offs or whatever. But if my heart and my energy isn't in the right place, I don't have the same result.
That's true. That is true. And having the music in the background can get you into the right place. That is very true.
And I have a girlfriend of mine who, she's really good. I don't have her willpower, but now in honor of her, I'm trying to do this, that Christmas music and Hallmark movies do not start. Hallmark Christmas movies, I use them all year, but Christmas movies for her don't start until December 1.
I at least wait until the day after Thanksgiving, but yeah, I agree.
And to me, those are energy. Those are energizers. They bring that happy, healthy, because all of those movies always have a happy ever after.
That's true.
Which sometimes in our lives doesn't have that at all when we're going through these transitions.
Exactly.
So I like the idea of, I like to set up the energy for a 5-minute cleanup.
Yes.
And when we were talking, you didn't mention it, but you shared something, and I think you just nailed it. And that was about clothes on the floor in the bedroom.
Yeah, I did kind of forget about that. Yeah. That final tip is have a hamper somewhere, some kind of a hamper, whether it's, a regular hamper or just a laundry basket. Again, get those clothes off the floor. You'll feel so much better.
Well, and I thought that was, hi, Phoebe. I thought that it's what fascinated me about that. I'm going, clothes on the floor. Huh.
Yeah,
It's like, because I try to be so disciplined, take it off, hang it up.
right.
I don't throw my clothes on the floor, and I don't have a chair in my bedroom, so I don't do that. But what I realize I do is I take, because my laundry's downstairs, I'll take my laundry and I'll sort it on the floor in my bedroom.
Mhm.
If I don't get my laundry all done that day, I look at that, it's a downer.
Wow.
And so because I wanted to relate to what you were saying, because I mean, I have exquisite closets. I love everything I have. Unless I love it, it doesn't get to be here. And every time I open up my closet, I love it because everything fits and flatters, is ready to go.
Right.
Would I throw that on the floor? Are you out of your mind? No, 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 no. It's taken me a lifetime to figure out exactly what I like. I want to have it last and take good care of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't clothes, but it was laundry to get done. It's
Right.
the same concept. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
The serendipity of, hey, Joan, that's you. Why don't you put your music on when you're doing your laundry
Hmm.
and pick up the pile? So before you go to bed at night, there are no piles on the floor of laundry to be done. Put it back in the hamper. So thank you.
Back in the
That was
hamper.
a good reminder, because when I get really tired, I'll wake up the next day and that pile is there. That's not a great way for me to start my day.
But at least if it's in a basket or a hamper, it's
Oh,
ready.
oh,
It's ready to go. Yeah. But, there are lots of folks out there who have, you know, significant others or kids, and clothes end up on the floor.
yeah.
And sometimes I think we just get really, really tired, and, we just strip down and it's on the floor. And then pretty soon, when there's one day on the floor, then there's 2 days on the floor, then there's 3 days on the floor, because
Yeah.
that energy is going the wrong way.
Yep.
And so if you take the 5 minutes, again, one of those 5-minute tidy ups, and just pick it all up off of the floor and get it into a hamper or a laundry basket or something, it's off the floor. It may not be sorted. It may not be quite ready to go just yet.
Yep.
You've gotten one step closer to getting it done versus, I've got all this stuff on the floor. What do I do now? Just get it off the floor. Just put it in a basket, put it in a bag, put it somewhere where you can lift it and take it to the laundry room or the laundromat, or, whatever it means for you. But
Yep.
that's one way of making your life a little more peaceful.
And that brings us to the last point. And that is, when we've got, it's like maybe before we start the 5-minute pickup, cleanup, or dealing with the piles of floor or on the floor or the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of going, yeah, but
I don't feel like it.
I don't feel like it, and I don't have the energy. So here's a simple energy tip, because here we go. I'm going back to what's the full moon, Monday's full moon's message. Embrace the flow of life. So when I'm like a little bit resistant, or I don't have the energy, what's a simple tip I can do to start being forward instead of in neutral or leaning back?
Right.
What gets that energy kind of going, like, okay, I can do this.
Mhm.
So these guys right here are ears. So the ears have acupuncture points that we can stimulate in our daily life. So if you go to an acupuncturist, you'll find they work on your ears or your feet. You can tune up your entire body, organs, bones, ligaments. All the energy systems of your body can be accessed through your ears and the soles of the feet. So
Wow. The soul,
yeah,
I know. We've had experience there. All right.
yeah. So back
Right.
in my makeup days, when I used to work for Shiseido, I used to do shiatsu facial massage.
Mhm.
And the ears is what you're working. So just take your fingers on either ear and
Okay.
just massage going all the way down. And when you get to your earlobes at the bottom, just pull down, go back to the top, and just massage. So you're stimulating all kinds of good juju in your body. You're getting your vital life force flowing.
Boy,
Once
do I need that.
Now, here's another thing.
Okay.
Pull your ears out from the side of your head.
Oh,
A little bit more. Now, when you stop, notice what you notice. For me, there is, it's what embrace the flow of life feels like.
okay. Yeah, there's definitely a little like, woo-hoo.
It's like a little something, something that's going on there.
Yeah.
So as we go through the holidays, we can welcome silence and celebrate serendipity.
Love it.
Anything else you would like to add, Deb? Or does Phoebe have anything to share with us?
No, Phoebe's busy.
Love it.
When I think of welcoming silence, I think of is it George Winston's December album? And I think of the beauty of that music. So if you've never listened to that, I recommend it highly. And who knows, there might be some serendipity in your life there.
Well, coincidentally, before in about 19 or I think it was 2019, he just happened to come to Mount Vernon.
Oh,
I happened to go and be sitting right there with him playing. I was just
wow.
blown away. And you know, he played December.
Oh my God.
And
That's awesome.
I have my, George Winston station on my Pandora that I listen to when I come in and I'm doing my journal and everything. When these cards are getting juiced in the mornings, I'm listening to that music, Deb, that you're just talking about.
Oh my God. Now that is serendipity.
Don't you
Oh,
just
that's great.
love it?
That's
Love it,
great.
love it, love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
I'll remember to put that in the notes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you and I are going to have to talk to make sure we get all the right notes down to
We
put
will. We
put this
will.
in.
We will. I will send you. I
Perfect.
will send all the information so that our viewers can check it out.
That's right. So since we said we were sharing resources, we have to make sure we actually do.
Yes, exactly.
So, well, thank you, Deb, and thank you everyone
You
for,
too. Thank you. It's been
yeah,
a fun
thanks for
session.
stopping by to chat with two girlfriends who talk.
And
And yes, and hopefully, really our intention is to provide information that adds some meaning and some value, that's entertaining, and you're going to get some good laughs and maybe a few tips here and there.
exactly. Yeah,
So that's our goal. So
that is our
right
goal.
now, take good care, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Sounds good. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.